Communications scholar Professor Ralph Akifele has called for an urgent review of the National Broadcasting Commission Code, describing the extant edition issued in 2020 by the regulatory agency as inconsistent with democracy. Professor Akifele, a former head of Department of the Mass Communications at the University of Lagos in UNILAG, made the call at the public presentation of a publication known as Question Marks on the 6th NBC Code Amendments by a consortium of independent broadcasters and free press advocates. Correspondent Ademola Lawrence reports.
Experts from the communications sector are gathered here in Lagos, southwest Nigeria, to evaluate regulations guiding the broadcast industry in the country. At the event, held at the office of the International Press Center (IPC), renowned Professor of Mass Communications Ralph Akifele stated that the National Broadcasting Commission (NBC) code is an attempt by the government to over-regulate the broadcast space. Professor Akifele added that many of the provisions of the 6th edition of the NBC Code were necessary, as they have already been addressed by previous laws. For media practitioners, the NBC is trying to control the industry in a way that it is inconsistent with democracy, which is oiled by free press. They stress that free press is required to make governments accountable at all times, not sometimes. Hence, there's an urgent need for review of the NBC Code.
There's a need for urgent revision of the 6th revised code of NBC. It's very urgent we have to revise that one. 1, it is not media friendly. 2, it is not democratically consistent with democracy. Why? Because the other name for democracy is what? A free press.
The Executive Director of International Press Center, Larry Arugundade, noted that the code contains provisions that could undermine democratic norms and standards, as well as jeopardize the values of broadcast sector, liberalization and free enterprise.
In contention, as far as this revised code is concerned, is that they are saying that if you use a user-generated content that embarrasses an individual or government, then you are liable, or you are perceived to have committed an offense, which for us is a real danger. What is embarrassment? Who determines embarrassment? Which means it's not about whether your story is correct or true. It's just about it's an embarrassment. It's just like another form of reform. I think that's what we're saying on this matter.
Say that what we have at the moment is not true democracy. That's correct. It's adulterated democracy. But whether it's adulterated democracy, but when it has that logo of democracy, the press must be recognized. And therefore, it is important for us to tell the NBC to unchain themselves from this over-regulation. Otherwise, they become traders.
In the case of the NBC amendment, it has become so controversial. And controversial because I think there is need for wider consultation. You can see the media struggling or battling left and right to pinpoint a lot of gaps or holes in that amendment.
For these media scholars and professionals, the NBC code needs to be immediately reviewed, amended, and made more media friendly. Ademola Lawrence, TVC News, Lagos.